The Bell Taste Curve is going to revolutionise how in tune you are with your eating. So many of us love the idea, and I think it used to be like, I know when I was growing up and heavily into like my fitness journey, intuitive eating was really popular. Now, as someone that came from a disordered eating background and also eating disorders, I've always found intuitive eating very difficult. I think for some people, if you grow up in a household that's very healthy and there's no sort of poor relationships with food and everyone eats very intuitively, then you're very blessed. Most of us don't grow up in that world, and we grow up in a world where food is demonized, or certain body types are demonized, or weight is demonized, and language leads us to overeat. A lot of us also grow up in an era where our parents are telling us to finish our plate, and that's just what they did. And I'm not judging them because that's what they thought was right. But it has meant that so many of us, almost everyone, is not an intuitive eater. Now, I am a firm believer that you can become an intuitive eater. Now, the food industry doesn't make it easy on us. They don't make it easy on us at all. They literally spend billions of pounds making food as palatable and delicious and moreish and addictive as possible. Sugar is so addictive and it's so hard to break the habit. And chocolate has literally, they've tested millions of like shapes of chocolate squares to make you eat more. Like, it's mental. So we are losing a bit of a losing battle, but you can become more intuitive. Now, number one, the Bell Taste Curve. This will revolutionize your own mind to stomach connection. So if you look at an axis like this, imagine this axis is enjoyment of food, and imagine this axis is time of eating. So when you start eating, you're going to start in this corner. You're going to get a big spike of enjoyment while you start eating, and then it is going to go down. So most of us, when we start eating, we get a bit of dopamine, it tastes good, we're settling our hunger, our brain's going, yes, this is good, like, yes, let's keep eating. And we get a nice little spike. Now, if it's a boring salad, it might be like this. If it's a very tasty, moreish bit of chocolate, again, you're going to get this. It does go down. You'll reach a peak enjoyment, and past that, it will go down. Now, most of us tune this out. We don't actually acknowledge that the food is not as tasty as it first was. So for the next few meals you have, or the next few times that you eat a fun food, whether it's a donut or a cake, whatever that might be, that is what I want you to focus on, is how did it feel and how did I get rewarded when I started eating it? How did it kind of taste, feel? What was I getting towards the middle bit of it? And how was it towards the end? Now, almost all of us will keep eating even when it's coming down and we're not really enjoying it, but we're just eating because, one, it's addictive, like I just mentioned. Two, like, it's a habit thing. Everyone around us is eating their whole plate, so we're eating a whole plate. Three, we're maybe still a bit hungry because we haven't settled on our needs. So it's so hard to be aware of this, but it does make a huge difference. And the more you do it, the more you'll realise that if I gave you a huge bar of chocolate, say it was a 200-gram bar of chocolate, far too much for one person in one go, but most of us have done it at some point, you're going to start eating it and you're going to get loads of dopamine, feel great, and it is going to stop being as exciting. It's going to stop tasting as good, and at some point that will dramatically decrease. And I know I've done it so many times where by the end I don't even really want it. I'm just eating it because there's a bit left. Or I'm just eating it because I'm like, well, I'll get rid of this and I won't have it tomorrow. And those are the limiting beliefs and the beliefs that I've given myself that mean that I eat past where it's enjoyable. So the next time, this is a skill, by the way, like anything, unless you're naturally born with this, which we all are, but like I said, most of us get this kind of broken, you have to build this skill. So the next time that you're eating, I want you to just become aware of it. That's step one. Become aware of that Bell Taste Curve. See when you get that peak enjoyment and what the thoughts are, or what the even subconscious thoughts are that you need to kind of be aware of when it starts to go down, you keep eating. So that's number one. Number two is the hunger scale. So hunger scale is 1 to 10. 1 being absolutely ravenous, would eat anything. 10 being like Christmas Day, Thanksgiving, maybe binge ate full, like uncomfortably full. Like you need to unbutton your jeans. You might feel a little bit sick, a little bit bloated. Like you do not feel good because you ate too much. The goal with food is to start eating at like a 3 or a 4. You don't want to be 1, you don't want to be 2 because you will overeat. Most of us, if we get too hungry, it's very hard to slow down our eating. It's very hard to be mindful. And 10, you don't want to be Christmas Day or Boxing Day stuffed or whatever it might be because you're going to feel sick, you're going to feel overfull. And also the way our bodies work is the stomach will hit our food and it takes a while for us to feel the feeling mentally of being full, because the hormones ghrelin and leptin that we have that tell us whether we're hungry or full, they take a bit of time to get from here to here. So you want to stop eating at 6 or 7. because by the time it's actually digested, like 10, 20 minutes later, you'll be at 8, which is kind of where we want to be. And the more you can do this as well is when you're going into a meal, going, where am I on the scale? If you're a 5, maybe you only need a snack. Maybe you don't need a meal. If you're a 3, you probably need a good satiating meal with some protein, carbs, fats. If you're an 8, then you definitely need to stop eating because you're going to be a bit too full and you need to take away for next time what you can do differently. So the Bell taste curve of learning how your body reacts and your taste buds and how the enjoyment of food changes, and also the hunger scale from 1 to 10, and knowing where you are on that scale can really help you be intuitive. Now, it does take time to learn. As an online coach for over 9 years, it is not something you're going to learn overnight. It's not something you're going to rewire overnight. And if you do want more information on how I can help you actually become an intuitive eater, then the information is in the link in my bio, and with hundreds of results of how I help women do that. But it does take time. But those are 2 great starting points of how you're going to start to rewire your belief system, your hunger levels, and become more intuitive, which long term is the goal. I don't want anyone for the rest of their life tracking their food or for the rest of their life following a meal plan. Long term, I want you eating intuitively so you can maintain the results and your dream body without worrying about going backwards. So if you found this helpful, make sure you liked and obviously subscribed. I drop 2 valuable educational videos on health, fitness, confidence for busy women and busy working mums every single week.